So as it turns out, Deku already ran into Gentle and La Brava. What? Already? How can this be? It's almost like the protagonist was destined to meet the antagonist. Anyway, let's get into this review because this chapter was quite interesting. The very end of it was very interesting, more specifically. The rest was kinda you know, it's okay. But so obviously at the beginning of the chapter we just have this whole school thing. We see everyone preparing for the festival, kinda like you'd expect. Obviously people are working their best to make sure that everything is finished by the time the festival begins, and even we see this panel at the very beginning of Eri actually having her hair done, so I think we're gonna be seeing a slightly different design of Eri once the festival actually begins, which I'm really curious to see because obviously, I mean, she's still gonna be the same character, so there's not really gonna be any radical changes. She's still gonna have the same, you know, hair color, skin color, she may have some different clothes, you know, and obviously a different hairstyle probably because that's kind of what the panel hinted at, a new hairstyle. Don't really think it's gonna be anything big, just an alteration in character design really, which is perfectly okay. I mean, we've seen it before in manga and anime, and even in My Hero Academia we've seen it a few times, even if they were temporary or whatever it may have been, you know. Anyway, so the whole thing with the preparations was something that I enjoyed seeing, especially the whole thing with Mineta, Momo, Denki, yada yada yada, because we see this panel, okay, and this is probably one of my favorite panels, comedically speaking, when Mineta tells Denki, the only reason we use you as a battery charger is because it is discrimination against men. That's what it is. And he's right. We can't wake up Momo to get some ropes, but we can use Denki as a charger. Must be inequality. Moving on to the whole thing with All Might, Deku and Hatsume though, we got a new thing with that of course, but this time we kind of reached the climax of it I think, because we see Deku getting his new upgrades to his suit. These gloves looking things that will apparently help him, you know, with using this new training properly before he's actually mastered, I guess. Kind of like how his leg upgrades helps him with shoot style. So, you know, whenever he fights next time, when he has his suit on, we're gonna see these gloves in action, maybe even the whole thing with Gentle, depending on if they fight. Can't really tell this early of course, but one thing that I really like with having Hatsume being relevant is that it kind of hints that she's gonna be a very, very important character in the long run for My Hero Academia. She's gonna be, I guess you could say, the very primary technician or mechanic for everyone essentially at UA, well at least for the first years, because it's always Hatsume when it comes to, you know, their upgrades it seems, especially with Deku. Like she was responsible for his leg upgrades and now these gloves. So it seems that she's playing a massive role when it comes to supporting Class 1A, or at least Deku, maybe some other students as well. I mean, obviously she's not just helping one person I think, but you know what I mean, like she is definitely being pushed to becoming a very important support character in the story. Okay, moving on to Gentle, La Brava and Deku, because this is really where the chapter's center is, because, well, I mean, it's at the end of the chapter, but it's such a big thing in this chapter, arguably the only really big thing that went down, because Deku, he actually runs into Gentle and La Brava. This is something that I don't think many people saw coming, at least this early. I mean, we knew it was going to happen eventually, of course, but did we know it was going to be happening this early? I did not see it coming this early, I'll tell you that much. Like, I actually thought they were gonna meet at the festival, not before the festival, which kinda threw me off a bit, but at the same time, it can be a good thing. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that the festival's gonna get cancelled, or that there's even gonna be a big fight going on already. A lot of people assume there's gonna be a big fight because Deku is looking kind of hostile against Gentle, and obviously, you know, it's the antagonist and the protagonist. Are they gonna fight already? I seriously doubt that. And the reason why I doubt that is because when you look at the whole thing with Overhaul, when they first met him, they didn't simply rush in to attack him, they actually let him go. So I could see Gentle and La Brava not fighting Deku already, and in fact I think a lot of people would actually prefer if they didn't, because that would end the arc very early on when you think about it. Like, you're supposed to have the fight, if a fight actually happens at all, at the end of the arc, not at the beginning of it. That's not really how it works. One thing that I could actually see being something that happens is obviously Deku finding out about their plan, you know, him finding out exactly what's going to be happening. Because we know Gentle and La Brava, they want to basically open the eyes of UA, they want to show them that there is ways to improve. Gentle and La Brava, at the end of the day, they both want to get fame. We know this much, but we also know that they want to kind of help UA in a way. They want to really show them that they can actually get through their system, even with the high security that UA seems to have. It's just, you know, a matter of planning it correctly, and especially since La Brava seems to be a really good hacker, she can easily, you know, get into UA security system and look what they have going for them, and she can find a way around that. You know, La Brava is gonna be doing the technical stuff, whereas Gentle is doing the brain work. Basically, the entire plan is basically up to Gentle, but La Brava is helping out, technically speaking, because, I mean, she's a hacker. I mean, what do you expect? It's kind of like, you know, you always have this hacker sidekick, right, who checks out the security, checks out, you know, she can unlock the lock you have at the facility, stuff like that. I could see La Brava playing some kind of role in that regard. She can unlock doors without anyone noticing, probably, especially if that is her quirk. We don't really know if it is, but if it is her quirk, then that could probably be an even easier thing for her to do without anyone actually noticing it. But now Deku's actually found them, which creates a problem, because if he goes to the UA and tell them about it, the festival is over and Gentle's chance at this whole thing is over. But Deku doesn't really want to tell them, does he? I mean, he kinda does, because, well, the security of everyone, and especially Eri, but at the same time, the festival was kind of supposed to help Eri smile, and Deku doesn't want to stop that. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Deku might try to come up with an agreement with Gentle and La Brava in such a way that everyone can be satisfied. So he's not gonna tell the school, maybe. But another thing I see happening is him just explaining to Gentle and La Brava the whole situation with Eri. Maybe he wants to try and push them to understand the situation. I mean, he obviously, you know, the first thing that he wants is to make sure that they are not going to be going there. Like, he doesn't want that at all. So he might explain Eri and her trauma to Gentle and La Brava in order for them to understand that, you know, this is a really inconvenient time to be going to the UA Academy, creating this big ruckus with the whole invasion that they're intending to do. Eri's condition would just be getting worse, not better, and her quirk might run rampant in a situation like that, meaning that someone could get seriously hurt or seriously compromised just from their move alone. You know, the festival itself might even cause some imbalance within Eri, because she's never really experienced a situation like that with that many people and whatnot. But then Gentle, La Brava comes in, they try to create some problems. They just want fame, you know, they want to show them that they can actually get into the UA Academy without any problems. Eri will not understand anything, and you see the teachers and the students being all worried because of Gentle and La Brava. Eri's gonna have some crazy chemical reactions in her head, and her quirk might go crazy again. That is something that I think Deku's gonna have to consider when talking to La Brava and Gentle, and I really hope it's something along those lines rather than an actual fight, because a fight right now would just not be ideal for the story. I think I just wouldn't really like that, and I seriously don't think it's gonna happen, because Horikoshi said himself this arc is gonna be the most schoolish arc in the story so far, meaning I just don't see a fight of that scale happening. Anyway, I'm gonna end the review here, so let me know what you think down below in the comments about this chapter, about this review. What do you think is gonna happen with Gentle and Deku in the next chapter? And as always, if you did, be sure to Detroit smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. This has been Chaotic Plus, and remember everyone, Toga is waifu, Toga is lifu.